Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to go through the books I read in the month of June. So if you watched the previous wrap up, you know that I actually put like 8 books or so on my TBR for this month. Spoiler alert, I didn't read the 8 books, but I did read 5, which maybe doesn't sound like a lot, but I did read very thick books and some that weren't. But yeah, my excuse is that I did read the thick books of the TBR, and I didn't read the ones that were like shorter. So this month I think I'm going to like instead of doing the TBR and the wrap up together, I am going to separate them because that way maybe I get like 2 short videos which will attract more people's attention instead of having like a long video that no one wants to watch. So that's the idea. The first book I read this month was A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, and I had to say that I thought this book was going to be a 5-star book and that I will love it and all that, but I didn't actually. I did feel like the characters of this book were great, which is a really good point because I love when characters are great. And I did feel like the character development that that the main character had was great. Like, I completely forgot the name, but the character. Ren. The character development that Ren had was great actually and very nicely done. So this book did not meet my expectations. For one, because I felt like the end was a bit anticlimactic. I know that for most of the publishers they have like this 3 thing structure, but even though this book did have that structure, I feel like the end wasn't really something like mind-blowing or like so great. They got their happy ever after, but it wasn't, I don't even know how to explain it. It just felt like there was something missing in the end. And also, it did not leave me with that, oh, I love this book, this is 5-star feeling. So that's mainly why I didn't give this book 5 stars and I gave it 4 stars. This book is about a girl named Ren and a guy whose name is whatever. And these two are rich, like they are the sons and daughters of rich people, and they have like the rich person issues. And Ren is this girl that everyone follows because she's like the it girl, but she's actually like not that confident, and so she ends up paired up for a psychology project with Crew, and their relationship developed from that. And Ren's character starts changing her mind about a lot of things. This book was good, but I have to admit that it wasn't a 5-star for me. The next book I read that I'm happy to say that I gave 4 stars, it's Addicted After All. And here we go. This is right now my favorite book of the Addicted series. Like, not of the Addicted / Calloway sister series because Calloway, but out of the 5 books that are the Addicted series, this is my favorite book. Even though it's not like a favorite book for me, like an all-time favorite, this is my favorite book out of that series. Same as the previous one, it lacked the I love this book feeling at the end of it. Like, I had a great time reading it and it's my favorite out of the 5 books, but still it lacked that 5-star feeling. But it did a good job convincing me that Lily and Lois are complete soulmates, because they are. Then I started recording a blog that will probably be up next week. That was me reading Colleen Hoover books for the first time, and I read It Ends With Us. So I gave this book 2.5 stars, which is quite a low rating not gonna lie. But for a romance book, it's okay because like it's not bad, it's just okay. So the thing is, I think that after reading Addicted After All, reading this book was a bit, I don't know, I felt like the characters weren't as real, which I mean, it's a 300 pages book. I don't know what I expected. But after reading Addicted After All, I expected like super real, super profound characters, and these weren't. Also, like the writing on the first chapter was great. Like I have the entire first chapter of the prologue or whatever annotated, the first chapter annotated because it was written so beautifully. But then apart from that, even though it was easy to read and all that, it was like meh. I mean, it wasn't anything special. So yeah. And I had to admit that I was bored at some points, and I found it difficult to push through that. Maybe this was not the best book to start reading Colin Hoover with, but I can say I didn't dislike it. If you want to know more about my opinions on Colin Hoover after reading It Ends With Us and Ugly Love, you can go to watch my blog if it's up. It will be up the next week. The next book I read was because I was craving a mafia book, like something, a mafia read or something, and I read Bound by Temptation by Cora Riley. I gave this book 2 stars, but mainly for one reason. And that reason was that it wasn't the typical mafia book because, you know, these books follow like a family, so each book is about one member of that family. And this one was about the youngest daughter of this thing. And at first it was super slow and I was completely bored. I was reading it because I was craving something that was mafia, but I was completely bored. And this book wasn't even on my TBR for this month. One of the things I wanted to say is that it was really slow. It wasn't the traditional mafia book, and I didn't really love the characters. It was kind of meh, so I gave this book 2 stars. Last but not least, completely not least, because this is probably one of my all-time favorites right now, is Binding 13. I haven't finished it yet because today is 30th and I am going to finish it today. So the thing is, I am recording this before finishing it, but I will say that this book is fantastic because it's not fantastic in a way that other books can be fantastic because they are profound or anything. Actually, the relationship between the characters is so sweet and so, I don't know. But also, I have to say that the secondary characters in this book are amazing. Like, you can't even imagine. There is this guy whose name is Gypsy, and well, he's Gerard Gibson, and everyone calls him Gypsy. And he's hilarious. Like, you can't imagine. I was reading it and I ended up laughing so hard. My mother came to my room and told me, "Are you laughing or are you crying?" It's written in a way that the heavy topics seem heavy, but the light parts are so light. So I do like that contrast very much. The only thing I would recommend is check trigger warnings because Shannon, the main character, goes through a lot of things and maybe you are not comfortable reading that. So, but yeah, favorite book for sure. And I really recommend that book because it's great. It's great. Like I'm thinking about where I'm going to read Keeping 13, which is the second book, because I need to. I will end the video here. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet, because my friends don't let me buy books if I don't have 100 subscribers. And I hope to see you soon. Bye!